So today I wanted to answer a question that a lot of you have been asking me for a really long time. What are the things I really want to do in America? Recently I was talking to producer Lenny about the fact that we've had to forego a lot of our trip ideas. Sad face. We didn't have anything set in stone, but we definitely had a couple of things we were floating out there. And before I do this list, I want to clarify my dream is to go to every single state in America and visit it.
All of them.
A lot of times people ask, why haven't you visited my obscure state in the middle of America? Well, the answer is because it would take me 2 days to travel there because there's no direct flight. We travel to the easier to get to states first, because in the interim there might become an easier way to get to your state, if that makes sense. So yes, the dream is to visit every single state in America, and I'm not talking specifically about states today. I'm talking about things that I really want to do in America. And let's be real here, I think travel restrictions will apply for quite some time, so yeah.
Balloons.
Dream with me. Before we get into the video, do be sure to subscribe, otherwise the next time you go to have pasta, it's not going to be al dente, it's going to be hard, undercooked and unenjoyable. Why can't I talk today? Everyone likes pasta. Also, go check out my socials, they're quite fun. Like, not really fun, like I'd give them a 6 out of 10. And on with the list. Okay, coming in at number 10, it's a really obvious one, and when I say I've never done it, people go, I'd really like to go to Disneyland World. I'm still not clear on which one's Disneyland and which one's Disney World and why I have to go to one over the other, but I've never been. How's that even possible? I had an opportunity to go years and years ago, but the argument was to go to Universal Studios instead, because I'm an adult and adults go not to Disneyland, apparently, World. But yeah, it just seems like a rite of passage. That's something I would like to do. And sometimes I think, oh, I'll hold off till I have kids of my own. And then I'm like, no, screw my future kids. I want to go now. So yeah, that's something I'd really like to do. And while we're doing dreams, I'd really like to check out the underground tunnels and get access to them. That would be very cool and would also make a good video for you. I should say now at this point that 2 things I largely do not enjoy doing, now I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times, is going to museums, because that makes very boring videos for you guys, and number 2 is going and seeing sights. I'm just not into like, wow, a mountain. It's just not my jam. I'm not knocking it. If you enjoy looking at things like scenery, cool. It's just not, I don't find that fun. However, there are always exceptions to be made.
I'm drunk, don't listen to me, no!
So coming in at number 9, the original thing that I ever wanted to do in America, the original plan for me and Lenny to do was to travel Route 66. And here's the reason why we haven't done that to date. I want to go with Chewie. People who don't do transatlantic flights don't seem to understand the difficulty of travelling into and out of America and Ireland with a dog in cabin. And people say, go check out the ferries. Sometimes the most well-intentioned comments are the most frustrating. Like when people say, oh, well, have you tried American Airlines? Yes, of course she has. She's tried everything. There doesn't seem to be any way in the current environment to travel with a dog in cabin into America and back out to Ireland without putting them in quarantine. But the dream would be to travel Route 66 in a big old camper van type thing with Chewie. I would like that. Would you like that? You don't even know where your bum is. Another reason I'd want to bring Chewie is because I'd have to go for more than a week to really enjoy it. Like a month of doing Route 66 would be amazing. And some of the things I'd want to see along the way are the weird things, you know, the weird, like, giant ice cream cone. I don't know that there's a giant ice cream cone. There probably is. I'd really like to do Route 66 with my dog. So if anybody out there owns a private airplane and can make that happen, I'd appreciate it. This is a dream list, you know? They are probably unattainable, and also maybe attainable. The next thing I'd really like to do, inspired by the Simple Life TV show. Does anybody remember that?
That's hot.
Yeah, I know, hideous people, but a good premise for a show. I'd really like to go and stay on a farm and go to a rodeo. I think that would be good fun, and I think it would make good content, and it would be a really cool life experience that I couldn't have in any other place in the entire world. So yeah, I'd like to rodeo in America. Yeehaw. It's yeehaw, right? Isn't it yeehaw? I don't know. Think of how funny those videos would be. The next thing, and this is area specific, I'd like to go to a luau. Luau. In Hawaii.
This luau is not a luau.
And the reason I'd like to do that is because we don't have anything like that here in Europe. There's nothing like that, and it always looks so paradisey in movies and stuff, and people go there and they have dream honeymoons and it just looks amazing, and I want to sit in a hammock on the beach in Hawaii. I just want a big flower thing and stuff, and that's just something I'd like to do. It looks fun, and also they eat a lot at those luau's. I'd be terrible at the under the stick thing because I'm just not coordinated. The next experience I'd like to have in America is to experience hot springs. Now this one has come up a couple of times on trips where we've had it on the list and I've never actually gotten to do it. For one reason or another, hot springs always gets shoved off the list, usually because it's like too far to divert off the course of what we're doing. But it's been on the Florida list, and I think it was on, I want to say the Pacific Coast Highway list, but we just didn't get there, and it just looks amazing. In my head, I have it like I'm in the hot springs and there's like nobody else there, and I know probably in real life there'd be loads of tourists around and people just shouting and stuff, but I'd like to experience, you know, hot springs all by myself, just like being in hot springs. They're springs and they're hot by themselves, like nature did that. Nature made them hot. I don't know, looks cool. The next thing I'd really like to do is go to an American football game, but not just go to an American football game. I'd like to go to an American football game, get really good seats, eat hot dogs and whatever else you eat at a football game, and then afterwards I'd like to get to go and interview the players. That's what I'd like to do. I don't know how you'd get access to something like that, but I'd like to interview the players and or the cheerleaders, because those are things we don't have in Europe or Ireland, is American football players and cheerleaders. We don't have cheerleaders. I'd really like to try cheerleading in America.
Oh, team!
And the hot dog is very important because I feel it adds to the whole experience. As I understand it, American football games are really long, so finding the time to devote to something like that is a stretch, but I'd like to do it if I could get access to those people. The next thing I'd really like to do is, again, area specific, but I'd like to go to the White House and I'd like to walk around the whole thing, but not in a tourist tour. I'd like to be taken around by a CIA spy who lets me go into the Oval Office, the real one, not the fake one.
So look, I know that sometimes people think of me as a bit of a conspiracy.
We all know there's a fake one, right? Like, we all know there's more than one Oval Office. In case one Oval Office is dirty and they need to film in the Oval Office really quickly. Or no, they probably have cleaners in the Oval Office. Like, lots of them. There's probably a production studio Oval Office as well. I mean, it makes sense. That's not even like, oh, the government are covering... Like, it makes sense to have a spare, right? It makes sense. But yeah, I'd like to be taken around by a CIA agent, not necessarily for a video. I'd just like to find out all the secrets. All the secrets. That's one that's probably never, ever gonna happen, but it's on my list, so. The next thing I'd like to do is perform in Nashville, Tennessee. Now this seems like a stretch, but also obtainable, because I've had a phobia of singing in public, and only like recently did I put something out on YouTube of me singing, and it was the most terrifying thing in the entire world. But I've always thought how cool it would be to do a performance in Nashville, Tennessee. Now this is ironic because I have not seen, there's a lot of movies about performing in Nashville, and I have never seen anything like that, so I don't really know why this is in my head. It's just this cool, romantic thing that I'd like to do, and there's no rhyme or reason for it, so I'm gonna move on fast, but yeah, I think it would be cool. The next thing I'd really like to do is eat soul food with a southern family. Eating soul food is on my American try list, and it has been for a while, but the way I want to do it is eat it with an American family. There's no point going to a restaurant and experiencing it. I want to do it for real. My understanding of soul food is it's just wholesome, really good, filling food that's not necessarily good for you, but it makes you feel happy inside, so who doesn't want to try that? Do I want to cook soul food? Not really, but I guess that would make for an interesting experience too.
Please don't.
A lot of people gave out to me about biscuits and gravy on another list, and I've got to say, I'm open-minded about it, okay? I tried biscuits and gravy once, they were gross, and maybe that was just a particular biscuits and gravy that I had. So, I am open-minded. I will retry biscuits and gravy for you. Is that soul food? I don't know. It just feels like they go together with my southern soul food meal with a family. That's just a thing I want to do. And the number one thing that I want to do, and I really need to clarify this, so stay with me.
Where is this going exactly?
I want to get married in Vegas. Now wait, it is not my dream to get married in Vegas, but I'd really like to experience a wedding in Vegas. Now on the flip side, I could be Elvis and marry other people. So if you would like me to be your Elvis and marry you, maybe that's something we could make happen. But I've been to Vegas a couple of times and it was always amazing, but the experience I didn't get to have was getting married in Vegas. Now there's always some, if you get married in Vegas, is it legal? As I understand it, it is legal. It just seems like one of the most American things you can possibly do, and just something I want to experience. I mean, remember when Britney married Jim Bob? what was his name? Anyway, remember when Britney married him? Like, that was the most American thing that's ever happened in the world ever. So I'd like to do that. Let's do that on camera. How funny would that be? We could put a load of names in a hat and I could just pick one out. It'd be good. But yeah, that's my American bucket list. And if you didn't like it, make your own bucket list. This is my bucket list. So some of the things are very achievable and some of them are probably never going to happen, but they are out there now. So, you know, universe, let's see what you bring back to me. And that's it for today's list. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. And before I do this list, a lot of people are going to be like, and before I do this list, I want to clarify, I'm not saying where I want, and before I do this list, I want to, a lot of time. So yeah, that's something I'd really like to do. So yeah, I should say now before, I should probably say now at this point. So would you like to do Route 66 with Mummy? Yes, I think you'd like it. I do. I think you'd like it.